Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and welcome to a special edition of Asian and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. And I'm here today to talk to you about my love-hate relationship with Sailor Moon Crystal. Sailor Moon Crystal came out in 2014. That was 10 years ago till this day. And the saga isn't even finished yet. Sailor Moon Cosmos comes out just this month. The first half comes out June 9th, and then the last come out June 30th. But I think it only comes out in Japan. I'm not sure when it comes out. With the English dub, I have no idea when that even comes out. Maybe it'll come out on that same day. I don't know. But that's a long time to finally put out this 5 season saga and everything. And there's a reason for that. Sailor Moon Crystal is not very well received like the original anime. See, back in around, I don't know, 2014, 2015, maybe, no, it was 2000 and, let's see, it was around 2017 or so. That's when I discovered Sailor Moon Crystal. See, for those who do know and watch my channel, you know I love Sailor Moon. I love the original anime. I love it so much that like I collect the merch. I talk about it on my channel every once in a while. I made a couple of videos, go find those. Like, I just loved Sailor Moon when it came out in the 90s and stuff. But I never got to finish the entirety of the series because, like, it got canceled. Then I had to go to school. And then when it came back on, I was unable to watch it. Then it was on Cartoon Network. And I was unable to watch it because I didn't have, like, cable and stuff like that. So it took a very long time for me to finish at least season 1 through 4 of the original Sailor Moon. And since the 5th season was never aired in America, I was never able to watch that. But, Hulu has the entirety of the series, but the 5th season is only in Japanese dub. But then I was able to find the 5th season on YouTube because somebody uploaded it illegally. But then now it's taken off. So I finally got to see the Stars art, right? And so, like, it's been about 25, well, at that time of Sailor Moon Crystal, it's been about 25 years since I saw the original, right? And so, like, because of that, like, I remember a good amount of what happened, but not a lot. And so when Sailor Moon Crystal came around and I finally was able to watch it, I'm not even sure how I even realized what Sailor Moon Crystal was. Because, like, how did I find it exactly? I was on YouTube doing something. I guess I was looking for Sailor Moon transformations, probably, or something. I don't know. I was looking for something, I know. And then all of a sudden, I saw something, and I thought that was fan fiction. I thought somebody just, like, drew it and animated themselves and put it on, like, the internet. But to my surprise, it was real and everything. It was called Sailor Moon Crystals. I'm like, oh my God. And I looked at those transformations and I'm like, man, they're gorgeous and everything. The vibrant colors, the CGI, the new style of animation. I was really digging it. I'm like, man, I gotta watch Sailor Moon Crystal. Like, where the heck is it? So, like, I'm on Wikipedia and I'm looking, it says it's on Hulu. And I'm like, oh man. And I'm like, oh wait, I have Hulu. So I rushed and I watched it. And when I watched it, I was feeling a bit complexed and everything. See, I haven't watched the original in over 25 years at that time, right? And so, like, now it's been 30 years since the original came out. And so, like, it's been a good while since, it's about around 25 years or so. And so it's been a good while since I saw what the original was about. So when I watched the Sailor Moon Crystal, of course, it was redubbed, but it was redubbed in the Viz dub. Now, I've talked about how I first bought the Wiz Dub like DVD, and I was very confused as to like all the changes they made, like the voices, the cussing, people driving on the left side of the road, stuff like that. Because in the original American anime, it was completely different. I wasn't used to all the different names. I was very confused as to what was going on. So I got rid of my DVD, but then I rebought it again, and then so anyway. On Hulu, I watched Sailor Moon Crystal. All three seasons were up. And I was, like I said, I was complexed and everything. Because it's been such a long time since I watched, the original, I assumed everything that was in Crystal was in the original. And there's some things I just don't remember seeing. I don't remember towards the end of the first season, Sailor Moon praying and Luna talking about she's praying and everything. I'm just like, I don't remember that. And so I don't remember what is it, like the four kings of heaven or something like that. I don't remember them being good guys brainwashing to bad guys and stuff like that and dating the Sailor Guardians. Like, I don't remember that. But I'm like, I guess that's what happened. But I'm like, no, wait. The guy and the girl evil people were supposed to date. At the time, I didn't know there was two guys. And so I was like getting kind of confused. And I'm just like, I don't remember her wand doing that. And I don't remember her having so many power-ups, like so randomly and everything. And so I'm all like, what is this I'm watching and stuff? So I'm like, maybe hey, it's been a while, so maybe this is what happened. Then I got into season 2, and Chibiusa is all like, I'm 900 years old and I'm trapped in the kid's body. I'm like, I don't remember that. And then Ray, her personality was so mellow. I'm like, isn't she supposed to be like a hothead and mean towards Sailor Moon and like all this other stuff? And then came Sailor Venus. Now I'm like, I don't remember Sailor Venus having a sword or like a necklace, a chain around her waist. I don't remember her challenging Sailor or talking about she's Sailor Moon and and getting in Sailor Moon's face. Like, I don't remember none of that and testing her out. And so I was just like, what the heck am I watching? Then season 3 came around. And the outer Senshi, I'm just like, man, something's just up with this. Like, I don't get it. So then, of course, I found out, oh wait, this isn't based off the anime, it's based off the manga and everything. And I'm all like, oh, okay. So Sailor Moon Crystal is an adaptation of the manga. So that's why it's so different from that of the anime cartoon, because the anime was different from that of the manga. Now, of course, Sailor Moon was created by like this amazing woman, and like I can't even like begin to like pronounce her name. I think it's Nyoko Tauki. Wait, Taushi. Look, I can't pronounce people's names. But like, if it wasn't for this woman, man, I swear we wouldn't even have Sailor Moon today. Thank God this woman had a vision, and thank God like her boss is all like, put them in sailor outfits and everything and stuff like that. Thank God, thank God. And so the reason why I have a love-hate relationship for it is because the thing about Sailor Moon Crystal is that it revolves around the same arcs that the others do. Season 1 is the Dark Kingdom. Season 2 is the Black Moon. The season 3 Death Busters, and now it's not even the 4th season really. It's now the first movie, the Dream arc, and then the last one is the Cosmos like Stars arc, and so it's like the Stars one, and so like. The thing I have a problem and things I love about it is that, okay, one thing I love about it so much, I love the new like visuals, the bright colors, how vibrant they are. I love that so much. It is so amazing looking, and like it's just gorgeous and stuff, because the original color palette for Sailor Moon was very dingy, kind of muted and everything. And for this, you really get that sense of like, these pretty guardians and doing what they do and stuff like that. So I love the colors and stuff. And the animation, I am split on. Like the animation, some of it is gorgeous for the most part. Like it is very visually stunning and everything, especially with the CGI elements. The new transformation sequences look like just like something I can't even believe, you know what I'm saying? Like it looks amazing and stuff. However, when it comes to the animation and the harping back on like transformations and stuff, because I forgot to point that out, like one of the things that's so confusing about the first season, like if you're new, I mean completely new to Sailor Moon and you watched it, you will be so confused. Like even somebody like myself who's watched it multiple times and for years now, I was so confused as to why Sailor Moon has so many power-ups the way they were. They was random, like I don't know what. She did one good thing and all of a sudden, like her tiara kept like transforming. Her outfit would like transform. Her wand would like transform. Something. It's like, it was such quickly paced to the point it was jarring. It's like they never explain exactly why these power-ups happen. Then like there was that one time, I don't know what happened to her, but her hair grew extremely long and it had a weird glowing effect to it that looked very gross and everything. And I'm just like, did she get too happy? You know what I'm saying? Her hair just grew. Like what the heck happened and stuff? Like that was just bizarre to me and stuff. But one thing I do appreciate with the power-ups is we finally get to see them in their appropriate costumes and dresses and stuff. Something the original anime didn't always do. It's just once they got their second uniforms, they kept that on the Sailor Guardians, and Sailor Moon of course kept changing, but the other ones didn't. And we finally get to see their eternal dresses and stuff like that, which looks very nice on them, but it looks very modern in some ways. But it does look very regal and formal. I just wish it looked more regal and stuff. It looks more modern day, like a cocktail dress or like a prom dress. I wish it had more regalness to it, to show that they are princesses and stuff. And so but I do like the new transformation pins and brooches and stuff like that. The pins are very thin this time, but they do look nice. I still don't know why Venus pin is completely different than everybody else's in the first season and stuff. And as for her sword, well, that's just got dropped from the entire storyline and stuff. But she does have it in the manga. Now the manga, from what I heard, is much darker, and they didn't go that route for like Sailor Moon Crystal. Problems I have are like people's faces. It's that new type of anime where everybody's face looks kind of like pointy and looks like they had a lot of plastic surgery down their face to make them smooth and everything. I don't like that. It looks a little bizarre and weird. It makes everybody have like a beak face, like a bird's beak, but just in their jawline. Also, like, all the guys look the same. Like, all the guys look like they had the same, like, drawing features in their face, and they just look the same. And the only thing that makes them look different is their hair. Another thing about the guys that kind of bugged me is they all look like girls in the face. None of the guys look manly, macho like they did in the original. And like also when it comes to the animation, a major problem I have is the proportions of their limbs. Their arms and legs sometimes look very odd. Like I don't know what to call it. Like they don't look like they're shaped very well to that of their body. And so when they do their transformation sequence, or they're fighting in like a pose, or they're just in any other kind of pose, it's very odd and weird, like a rubber band man or something like that. It's just like their limbs don't look right. And so the animation is inconsistent, and that is a huge problem. It's like hands sometimes are bigger than what they should be. They have tiny little heads and everything for such like tall, elongated bodies, and it's just odd and bizarre. Now, Sailor Moon Crystal, the first 3 seasons are only 13 episodes, whereas the original one is over 20. And so because they're over 20 in the original, it has a lot of filler. Filler is, like I said before, it's both good and bad. It makes you really get a sense of who these characters are, but it's rinse, wash, and repeat over and over and over again, and it gets repetitive. And sometimes those characters don't have any character growth sometimes, and they only get the character growth towards the end of the story arc. So that can be a little bugging. However, in Crystal, one of the good things is that it's 13 episodes, there's no filler. So that means like when the first season they introduce all the Sailor Guardians, they get introduced within the next episode or so. Sometimes they pace out just a little bit, but not much. And so I really like that. It gets straight to the point. It introduces our girls and this and that. But the problem is, if you're new to Sailor Moon and you're watching Crystal and you've never seen the original, then sometimes you can kind of forget the personalities of all the girls and stuff because they don't really focus heavily on their personalities because they're trying to finish that of the story arc. Whereas in the original, you got a real sense of who they are. But one bad thing about a shortened season with 13 episodes is that it's paced very quickly, very, very, very rushed and everything. And another problem I have with that is that when they do get to that final episode, the fighting is so bizarre, the story is so bizarre, and the pacing is so rushed that it just speeds things on through, and you don't know what the heck you're watching. The finales always seem underwhelming, and I hate that. Another love-hate thing I have is the music and stuff. The music sounds amazing and the music sounds great. The only problem with the music is that it's very, very, very loud. And I mean, it's like cranked up to like 100 to sometimes you can't even hear what a person is saying. And it is very odd and bizarre because why would you, like, you want the music to be intense, but you don't need it that intense where it's so, so, so loud. Now, the first two seasons had a pacing problem and it was very rushed and everything. The animation was kind of like, hit or miss, and the story was hit and miss as well as the character development. And so like it made for a not so enjoyable two seasons, but by the time you get to the third, everything started to get better. The animation started getting better, the pacing was a whole lot better, characters were more fleshed out, they heard the fans cries and outrage and they fixed what was wrong. The third season is probably by leaps and bounds the best, and it's the only one I own on DVD. And I bought it back when it was really cheap, thank God, because now it's like really expensive. And so like, in my opinion, the third season is phenomenal and just the best of like the best. Then something weird happened. See, after 3 seasons, they decided to call it quits and everything. And so like season 3 ended around 2016, 2017. And so the last two story arcs, Dreams and Stars, never got adapted for the Crystal remake. And so fans were really disappointed. Then around 2020 and 2021, people's dreams, no puns intended, got answered and everything. They decided to come out with a sequel of movies. 2 each, one for the Dreams arc and now one for the Stars arc. Now, like I said before, it comes out this June. And so it took a long, very long time for the Dreams arc to come out. But here's the craziest thing. See, Sailor Moon Crystal is available on Hulu at the time. But then for the movies, they're strictly Netflix releases, which made no sense. Why not put it on Hulu? How did they lose the rights to that? Not only, but now you can stream Sailor Moon Crystal in its entirety on Netflix. But that's not the only thing. It's also on free sites like Tubi. You can watch it for free on Tubi. How exactly did Hulu lose the rights to it? I don't know how. But when it comes to that of the Dream arc, the animation got a million times better. they look so real in that. Their clothes look so realistic. It feels like you're like, it's the real thing. And like Sailor Venus, my God, like she looks like a real life person and everything. It still focuses on the manga with changes here and there, just like with the other Crystal arcs. But there's something about those two movies I don't particularly like. Like, I'm not a huge fan of them. I need to go back and rewatch them. It's been a while since I watched them, but I'm not a huge fan of them. When I first watched it, I was irritated. It just didn't feel good to me. But then I rewatched it a couple of times, and it's a little better. Just a little better and everything. I don't know what it is. It's back to feeling rushed and everything. Like it's so drawn out. Like the first movie deals with one part of the dream arc with the death bust or with the whatchamacallums. The the animal that turns into people and the dreams and stuff like that. And it's just like, I don't know, the pacing feels off, especially for two movies. And the two movies didn't come out back to back. It took a while for them to come out. And then it's just like, I don't know, man. It's something off feels with the movie. Also, what really kept confusing me with the way they pronounce like Usagi's and Mamoru's name and stuff. They pronounce them very Japanese. I think they call him like Mamoru-san and like Usagi-san, and it's just like I wasn't used to hearing that, and it kind of like really threw me off because the other versions of it never said that and stuff. But I just felt like it had a rushed story arc and everything. And then so now in 2023, the Stars arc is about to happen, and it's great because now we finally get to see the true Stars arc like it was in the manga. Because in the anime they changed it up a lot, just like they did with the Dream arc. And one of the refreshing things about the Dream arc was, like, I forget their name, the Circus Quartet, I think they are. It was nice to finally for fans to know that there really were Sailor Guardians in the far future. When, I guess, like, they're the Sailor Guardians, the Sailor Quartet, to that of Chibi's Sailor Moon. And a lot of people never knew that unless you just read the manga or read it on Wikipedia. So people finally got to know that real story arc that was changed for the anime. So I can't wait to see Cosmos, Sailor Moon Cosmos is what it's called for the Stars arc, to see how it really, really, truly is. And then that will be the end. So, I like Sailor Moon Crystal. I just don't love it. Like, I have a love-hate relationship to it. It's just one of those reboots that is just a reboot. It's good in some aspects, and other aspects it's completely off. And that's quite a shame, because if it wasn't received as badly as or poorly as it was, we would have got season 4 and 5 much, much, much earlier and stuff. Now, one major problem I have when it does come to Netflix owning the movie rights is that Netflix won't put Sailor Moon Eternal or Cosmos on physical media. You can only watch it on their streaming site because Netflix is evil. In the past, they used to put a couple of their shows on DVD, but then they completely stopped. This is one of the downsides of putting your stuff on a streaming site, because you just can't have physical media no more. And so for some people who want to own it and stop paying Netflix, that's gonna suck for them. So, I have a love-hate relationship when it comes to Sailor Moon Crystal. Like, it's not like great, but it's not terrible at the same time. There's inconsistencies. There's some odd stuff that just happens, but for the most part, it's enjoyable. Just not as enjoyable as the original. But the original have flaws too. It gets very tedious, like, with the rinse, wash, and repeat of like all the filler and stuff, and all the changes that they made from that of the manga. Happy Asian and Pacific Islander month, everybody. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.